What's up, everybody? It is DJ the Sports Blurred. I am back. I'm in my baseball. Of course, I have my football, and I have a really good video for you guys today. Holy smokes. You guys see the title, Urban Meyer versus Ryan Day. The stats don't lie. Today, I'm going to give you an argument as to why I think Ryan Day might already have surpassed Urban Meyer when it comes to who's the better of the two when it comes to head coaching at Ohio State. These are two of the most dominant coaches in all of college football, not just now, but I'm talking about in history. Let's cut through the hype. The stats don't lie. And when you look at the numbers, has Ryan Day already surpassed Urban Meyer in just his 6th year as being the better coach? I don't know. But today I'm going to dive into that conversation, and what I'm going to reveal to you guys might be a little surprising or undeniable, some people would say. Now, let's start with Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer has built Ohio State into what it is today. There is no doubt about it. With the success that Ryan Day's had, it's pretty much came off the back of Urban Meyer. He built this team into a powerhouse. He built this program into a juggernaut. But while Urban Meyer was at the top, there was a lot of questions surrounding his leadership. There were some inconsistencies. Can I interest you in a weird loss to an Iowa team or a rare loss to a Purdue team? And under Urban Meyer, there were quite a few scandals. Ryan Day has taken this program to the next level, and believe it or not, the numbers kind of prove it. Now, I'm going to compare these two coaches, and I'm going to give them a grade, and I'm going to base everything off of 5 categories. As I go into this video, I'm going to be breaking down the categories that I'm going to be grading these two guys in. And I want you guys to be interacting with this video because I really like to know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is the best? Now, first category. This is probably the most important when you're a head coach. That is your win-loss record. I was really doing some research, right? And I was digging deep. And I had to really find some things because I've been a big fan of Ryan Day here for a while. And think about this. This is going to blow your socks off. Now, Ryan Day has compiled a 70-10 record as a head coach of your Ohio State Buckeyes. That means he has an 87% win percentage. That is insane. Those numbers are completely off the charts. Now, think about this. That win percentage puts him above a lot of greats. As a matter of fact, he's sitting 3rd all time in win percentage. Now, I'm going to give you some names, I'm going to give you some coaches, and then I'm also going to give you their win percentage. Can I interest you in Nick Saban? What do you think Nick Saban is? If you guessed 80%, ding, 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 you would be correct. Now, say what you want about this next coach, Lincoln Riley. He is a pretty decent coach, had a terrible season this year at USC. He's also 80%. Dabo Swinney and Clemson, he's at 79%. The person that I think is actually the best active head coach, Kirby Smart, phenomenal, 85%. And then Urban Frank Meyer, 85%. Now, I do have to be a little transparent. When Urban Meyer was at Ohio State, he had, believe it or not, get this, he was 83-9, y'all. That means he had a win percentage of 90%. That is insane. I don't care who you are, what school you're at. If you win 90% of your football games, you're going to go down as a legend. But like I said, overall, he has an 85%. You know, he started at Bowling Green, went to Florida, obviously came to Ohio State. Now, in his 6th year as head coach, Ryan Day is actually outpacing Urban Meyer when it comes to win percentage. So for the first category, which is that win-loss record or win-loss percentage, I got to give it to Ryan Day. Let's go to category 2. Category 2 is going to be cachet. Now, what do I mean by cachet? I mean, if you go to a recruit's house and you sit on their couch, is that name Urban Meyer or Ryan Day going to ring a little bit more bells? I would think that Urban Meyer is going to ring just a little bit. I think he has a little bit better name recognition because he's coached at a little bit more places. However, and that's just in college football. However, I think him going to the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of hurt his reputation overall here in Columbus, Ohio. in Ohio and in general, we think Urban Meyer is a great person. Outside of Ohio, nobody really likes Urban. They think he's a terrible, terrible person, just to put it nicely. Ryan Day, on the other hand, he's relatively new. He's only been a head coach for 6 years. And at that 6 years, he's only been in Ohio State. So he's been in the NFL, he's been to smaller schools. But in terms of having an actual head coaching job, this is it for Ryan Day. And right now, I think Ryan Day, especially coming off this historic national championship run, I think he has a little bit better name recognition. But I'm still going to go ahead and give the cachet category, the second category, to Urban Meyer. If you guys are keeping score at home, Ryan Day won, Urban Meyer won. Also, if you guys are at home and you're a fan of college football and you want to go into some of these deep dives that I'm going to be doing, I have some really good videos lined up, man. Please go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, because I'm going to be bringing some fire while the off season's here. It's going to be, we're going to be without football for a little bit, but we can still talk about it and make it interesting. All right. So let's go into the third category. Ryan Day and Urban Meyer, they're both known as offensive coaches. Doesn't mean they haven't had good defenses, but they're both known as offensive coaches. So when it comes to offensive firepower, let's go ahead and make that a category. Category 3, who has had the best offensive firepower in their tenure as the head coach for Ohio State? Now, like I said earlier in the video, don't forget, Urban Meyer brought the SEC to the Big Ten. That was important for a couple of different reasons. Before Urban got here, the Big Ten was pretty much 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You hand the ball off to your running back the first 2, maybe even 3 times a possession, and then you only throw it when necessary. Urban Meyer, he was absolutely insane for what he did. He brought that Tebow, Florida kind of play style to Ohio State. That offense that he ran, that was pretty much built on a power running game. And it was also built on clock management and controlling the clock at the time. But if we're going to be honest, now Buckeye fans, hear me out. Don't hate me. Don't boo me. If we're going to be honest, Urban Meyer's offense started to age itself later in his tenure as head coach. However, it was still very, very lethal. Think about this. Think about all those times we watched J.T. Barrett, Braxton Miller, even Dwayne Haskins. I guess at the end he was throwing it a little bit more, but it didn't have the same potency that Ryan Day's spread offense have had. How many times did we watch J.T. Barrett on a big 3rd and 3, on a big 4th and 2, get a quarterback draw right up the middle? It became so predictable. It was still very dangerous, and most times it worked, but it became very predictable. I will say this to Urban Meyer's credit. That last season he had as head coach, he saw his offense have the number 8 scoring offense and also the number 2 offense in terms of overall yards per game. So he was still really good. And when it comes to scoring, Urban Meyer as a head coach at Ohio State averaged 40.8 points a game. That is insane. 40.8, almost 41 points per game. Ryan Day is right there. In 6 seasons as head coach for Ohio State Buckeyes, his teams have averaged a combined 40.6 points a game, only 0.2 points off from Urban Meyer. However, since Urban actually had the higher points per game, I'm going to give this category to Urban Meyer. So Ryan Day 1, Urban Meyer 2. Now, the 4th category is recruiting. Oof. This is a big one. And again, I think this is going to be a little controversial, what I'm getting ready to tell you, but I don't think a lot of Ryan Day's recruits have actually grown their legs. A lot of Urban's guys, Ryan's been there for 6 years. You see him in the NFL. You see what they're doing. They're starting to blossom. But don't get it twisted. Ryan Day has had some amazing classes. Now, in Urban Meyer's 17 years as the Buckeyes head coach, he brought in 7 5-star recruits. Phenomenal. From 2012 to 2018. Can I give you some of the names? Jog your memory back a little bit. Joey Bosa. You guys remember him. Big Bear. Do you guys remember his little brother, Nick Bosa, Little Bear? Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, Dwayne Haskins, Von Bell. I'm even going to throw Justin Fields in that mix. I know Justin was a transfer from Georgia, but you still had to go out and get him, and Urban landed it, and it was all history from there. That's one of the best quarterbacks in Ohio State history. He's actually my favorite quarterback from Ohio State. He's also giving you some notable non-5 stars: Paris Campbell, Malik Hooker, Marshawn Lattimore, Scary Terry McLaurin, Ezekiel Elliott, Eli Apple, Joe Burrow. You guys know how big a Cincinnati Bengal fan I am. I'm going to say his name twice. Joe Burrow. Tate Martell from Nevada, man. Dude, we had a lot of expectations for that guy, and he let Justin Fields come right in and take his job and never look back. Give you a couple more names: J.K. Dobbins, Michael Thomas, J.T. Barrett. Urban Meyer has bought in some dudes, and you cannot discount that. In 7 seasons as head coach, Urban Meyer had 7 top 5 classes, and 5 of those were actually top 3 classes. It was insane numbers. Now, adversely for Ryan Day, in 6 seasons, he's had 6 top 5 classes, and actually 5 of those were top 3 classes, and the class he's bringing in now is just as good. I'm going to give you some of the names that he bought in. In the 6 years that Ryan Day's been head coach, he bought in 15 5-star players. I'm going to give you just a couple of them: C.J. Stroud, JTT, Travion Henderson, Jack Sawyer, Emeka Ibuka, Jeremiah Smith, Maserati Marv. Man, my goodness. You guys remember Marvin Harrison Jr., one of my favorite players to watch. Jeremiah Smith has absolutely made us forget about him. Some of us forget about him, but I haven't forgotten, man, and what number 18 did when he was at Ohio State. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devin Sanchez, who's coming this year, and then Tavion St. Clair. Urban Meyer, the one thing about him, we knew he was primarily going to go recruit in Ohio. He was going to recruit in Florida, and he was primarily going to recruit the Midwest. Laid a great foundation for what we're able to bring, the athlete we're able to bring into Ohio State. But Ryan Day has actually shown that he can expand his footprint into California. Got C.J. Stroud into Texas, got Quinn Ewers, and Ryan Day is actually going national. He's gotten guys from out west. Emeka Ibuka is from Seattle, Washington, and look what he was able to do for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He leaves as the all-time leader in receptions and yards for Ohio State, and he leaves as a national champion. Don't hate me, y'all. I'm going to go. Oh, and another reason that I think Ryan Day is going to deserve this category: NIL and transfer portal have completely changed the way we look at college athletics, and it's not something that Urban had to deal with. Ryan Day has actually used that to his ability. He brought in Quinshon Judkins in the portal. He brought in Will Howard in the portal and won a national championship. And then obviously you guys know about the $20 million roster, what he's been able to do with the NIL. I'm going to give this category to Ryan Day, kind of like I said before. Again, keeping score at home, Ryan Day 2, Urban Meyer 2. And then it comes down to the final category. Now, this is going to make or break a head coach. It's the ability to win a big game. Urban Meyer won the Big Ten 3 times, and he actually won the first inaugural CFP playoffs. That's when they had 4 teams, and in that tournament, he had to beat the number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide and actually had to beat the number 2 Oregon Ducks, and he did that with a 3rd-string quarterback. Ryan Day has actually won the Big Ten twice. He kind of tailed off on Urban Meyer's dominance and winning that Big Ten when he first got in the Big Ten and got that job. Ryan Day did. He's won the first inaugural 12-team, which is impossible to do, guys. Think about that. He won the 12-team CFP tournament. It's not impossible. Somebody had to win it. But he won the first 12-team CFP tournament as an 8th seed, guys. He had to beat 2 SEC teams. He had to beat the overall number-ranked team in the country in Oregon. And then I guess he got a lollipop at the end and beat Notre Dame. But still, Ryan Day did something that no team has ever done in the history of college football. He beat five top 5 teams in one season. Now, I know what you're going to say, DJ. Listen, he had more opportunities. He played more games. Absolutely, he did. But with those same opportunities to win, he had more opportunity to lose. This team went 14-2. They very well probably should have been undefeated. But Ryan Day won the big games when it mattered. But I'd be remiss, guys, if I didn't bring up Michigan. You guys know what Urban Meyer is. He's 7-0. You guys know what Ryan Day is. He's 1-4. And for this fact alone, nothing more, I gotta give the big game to Urban Meyer. So again, if you're keeping score at home, that's Urban Meyer 3, that's Ryan Day 2. In my opinion, Urban is still a better coach, but I think that Ryan Day is well on his way to catching the legacy that is Urban Meyer, making his own legacy at Ohio State, and probably finishing off as the best coach Ohio State has ever seen. Let me know what you guys think, man. I thought that was a decent video just because I like the content matter. I talk about this stuff all the time with my coworkers, with my friends. Everybody here is a huge Ohio State fan, but I would like to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who do you think's a better coach? Ryan Day, Urban Meyer? Do you think Ryan Day's close? Do you think there's a huge gap between the two of them? I'd really like to know you guys' thoughts, man. Thank you guys for checking in. If you're still here, I appreciate it. It's midnight at my time. I just got off work. I work a lot of hours, so I'm about to go upstairs, eat some food, and crash because I got to be at work again in the morning. But until then, guys, take care and go Bucks.